Hi, Larry. How are you?
Come in, come in.
Good to see you. How you feeling?
It's been a bit of a rough week.
Really? And the best way to take it is put it under your tongue and rub it in your cheek. Don't do too much, you're going to be asleep all afternoon. You know what you should do?
No.
Don't try to communicate, just relax. See what happens.
We know from animal experiments that the endogenous cannabinoid system is very important in regulating motor activity, that very type of activity that is impaired in Parkinson's disease. From animal experiments, we also know that boosting certain branches of the endocannabinoid system is helpful in relieving symptoms of Parkinson's. Finally, from anecdotal information, we know that certain patients who smoke marijuana experience relief of their symptoms.
I think you're calmed down. Isn't that amazing?
He used just a single drop, and his hands afterwards were rock steady, and the dyskinesia left.
The voice is coming back.
It works most of the time.
In fact, it's... Did you guys get lunch?
Hello, my name's Jill, and I have Parkinson's disease. I've taken my Parkinson's prescription medication this morning, and this is how it helps, and it doesn't. I've since investigated and purchased medical cannabis oil. I'm going to have some in a minute, and I'd like you to see how it helps me. This is my oil, cannabis oil. It doesn't taste very nice, so I'm going to put it in a biscuit. That's probably a little bit too much, but not bad today. And I'm just going to spread it on the biscuit like that. You could do this with anything, but I prefer the sweet biscuit.
Alright, we'll come back in about 10 or 15 minutes and see what happens.
It's been 20 minutes since I've had that butter in the biscuit, and I feel wonderful. No shakes, no nothing. And you tell me, why can't this be legalised? It helps so many people. It's changed my life. I have such quality of life now. And I'm forever grateful to the man who organised this for me. Bye.
Agnesa Petrac, la edad 84, largo ya.
Sí. Y dígame, Agnesa, ¿usted qué enfermedades tiene?
Bueno, problemas de la columna y bueno, derivó todo en una fibromialgia,
Sí.
que esta es la que más me molesta.
¿Y qué problemas le causan estas dos enfermedades?
La falta de movilidad, mucho dolor. El dolor es espantoso, la verdad que ya por ahí si necesito subir a un colectivo me tienen que empujar para poder o ayudar. Entonces, ahora ya después la verdad que mejoré, pero una barbaridad.
Ahora, dígame, ¿cuánto hace que empezó a tomar cannabis?
El 17 de marzo de 2017
Sí.
empecé con una gota el primer día y segundo, y después seguí con 2 gotas por día.
¿Y alguna vez se sintió drogada?
No, nunca jamás. Y lo tomo en ayuna. Lo primero que hago es tomar las 2 gotitas y espero un rato y después sigo con lo que puedo hacer, ¿vio?
Claro. Bueno, ¿y cuáles fueron los cambios que tuvo con el aceite?
Los cambios es una mejoría en la movilidad, el dolor que amainó,
Sí.
A pesar de mi columna que es mi hija me dice que ya no tengo columna, y después, no sé, me parece que en el ánimo todo estoy mejor, todo.
Ajá.
Among the moms who have joined the lobbying efforts in Virginia, a new member, school teacher Tamara Netzel. Her interest is personal. She herself is searching for legal cover to use CBD oil.
There you go.
I'm just thankful and grateful for everybody here starting this because I was only diagnosed 5 years ago. You have worked so hard, and I'm benefiting from that. I'm very thankful.
Tamara has multiple sclerosis, a disease capricious in nature and devilishly difficult to treat.
With multiple sclerosis, you get a cold, you get any kind of virus or anything that can trigger your symptoms to get worse. And at the same time, the drugs they give you bring your immune system down. So then you're more vulnerable to those things too. So
It's really a horrible catch-22.
it is.
One of the drugs she was taking for MS almost killed her.
You know, I didn't know what's going on, and my husband, you know, I sent him home to get my things, and his sister's a nurse, and he had called her on the way. We didn't know what that meant, you know, elevated liver enzymes, you know. He told his sister my numbers, and his sister was like, she's dying. You know she's dying, right? So it's pretty scary.
It's a lot to go through.
Tamara suffers constant neuropathic pain.
You don't know what chronic pain is until you live it. Chronic pain is, you know, I can tell the pain scales that they tell you at the doctor, you know, 1 to 10, doesn't even describe it. But think of a 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, ongoing, non-stop, no end in sight. It changes your mood. It changes how you interact with people. It's exhausting.
A co-worker suggested she try cannabidiol.
This hurts a lot more.
But Netzel felt trapped. CBD oil in Virginia was only approved for epilepsy patients, no other illnesses, and possession of CBD oil by federal standards is still illegal.
There was no way I was going to break the law, but at the same time, how am I going to take care of myself?
And at the time, her husband Tom was a full bird colonel in the U.S. Army.
You grow up, your husband in the military for 26 years, it's a big thing. It's patriotism and all that, a teacher.
He was not enthused about having an illegal substance in his home.
I was still in the military and I was worried about it, but we were desperate and it was worth a try, so we tried it.
So Tom, can I hold it?
Her pain abated.
Any problems on that side?
The CBD oil, I put a little under my tongue, and it was minutes. I feel this warm rush down my arms. I was like, wow, this is great. Like it was a relief.
What does it mean to you that he has your back?
It means a lot. I feel safer to fight for myself, and I feel like I can do this. I don't have to sneak around. I don't have to, you know, hide it just to help myself.
Decorated officer, hardcore conservative, and out of the closet for cannabis.
Well, I think you can't change the dialogue without telling people the story. So if nobody knows somebody that's personally involved in something, then they don't have a personal connection with the story, and nor do they care about it changing.
Yeah, let's get up. It's okay. Got me up. Okay.
There we go.
For Eugene Monroe, the gym is his refuge. Working out, he says, makes him feel better. For the former pro football player has a list of injuries a mile long.
There we go.
Tons of concussions, and with most of the concussions, I had neck injuries as well, and definitely have signs of arthritis in my neck. That bothers me on a daily basis.
3 knee surgeries, torn labrums, a bad back, broken and dislocated fingers. He may look like the picture of health, but looks can be deceiving.
You can have some Xavier.
Like when his wife recently asked him for help in the kitchen.
Wait a minute. You're the big, tough guy from the NFL and you can't open the jar of pickles?
Even if your fingers are jacked up, you'll get it done somehow. I mean, we do get the jars open eventually.
Monroe grew up on the wrong side of the tracks in Plainfield, New Jersey, during the crack epidemic. Drugs were everywhere, including his own household.
So what was your attitude as a young person, as a teenager, toward drugs?
I hated any and all things to do with drugs. I was the poster child for, like, anti-drugs. I was leading the war on drugs in my own community.
Monroe played college football at the University of Virginia, then a 7-year career in the NFL in Baltimore and Jacksonville.
So by and large, do you look back at your time in the NFL positively?
I loved it. Everything about it was awesome.
There is a price for awesome, though.
Everything's got a price.
The price Monroe and others pay is measured in pain. Pain that often gets worse the longer you play. And for years in college and professional football, the relief from pain was provided by opioids. He says the industry standard.
Old injuries become chronic injuries, which bother you daily, but you still have to perform. And opioids surely do help you push through that. And that's why so many people took so many of them.
Monroe says he was never addicted, but he did rely on them, especially after surgeries, until his last surgery.
A few days after my surgery, I was taking them, and My daughter was walking up to me, like, "Oh, who's this kid here? What's up?" Like, but it was my daughter.
You didn't recognize her?
I didn't recognize her, so I stopped taking them.
Come say hi to Chicken.
Eugene's wife, Nerea, observed her husband's decline.
I definitely had a low moment, going through a little bit of depression, really feeling like I was helpless, not being able to do anything for him. And again, that's horrible. Mommy's crying. I was crying.
It felt like the game of football and the drugs Eugene was being prescribed were taking her husband away.
I remember thinking that this is year 5 and he's talking about he wants to play another 5 years. I don't know where he's going to be, where his head's going to be. You know, right now it's just misplacing his cell phone or putting it into the refrigerator. But what is it going to be later? Is he going to know who I am? Is he going to wake up in the morning and not know who his kids are?
Monroe feels the NFL has made a bad choice. While league doctors write prescription after prescription for opioids, the NFL drug policy still prohibits the use of cannabis. In fact, players who test positive for cannabis can be suspended for a year.
Pretend you're in a hotel. You get in an elevator with Roger Goodell. You know you have a finite amount of time to tell him something really important. What do you tell him?
People are dying and we have a chance to stop it. And the changes that we could make could have a positive effect on millions of people. Let's have a grown-up discussion about marijuana.
How has cannabis changed your life?
Cannabis has saved my life. Cannabis has removed pharmaceuticals from my life in every shape or form. The only pills I swallow are vitamins.
Eugene is convinced marijuana works, but he wouldn't mind a little science to back it up.
I think it's possible that CBD or potentially other compounds in cannabis could really help with some of the opiate cravings and help people come off of opiates, especially for disorders like pain, where the opiates stop working, you become used to them and require more and more, which is where the real danger comes from.
Monroe's conversion to cannabis believer is best reflected in his investments.
We're actually looking into doing ethanol extraction.
He co-owns dispensaries and processing labs in 5 states, including Maryland.
Come here. Okay. Come here. Come here. Just gave him 3 squirts of that CBD. You okay now? You okay? You got that slobber? Back.
¿Estás bienchito?
¿Quién se tomó?
Getting off.
Tammy Silverman turned to CBD oil derived from cannabis to help her dog Annie with pain.
We found out that our dog has hip dysplasia and arthritis after we did an x-ray of her.
Tammy says Annie was sedated in order to get the x-ray, but her back legs were affected even after it wore off.
I took her for a long walk one day and her back legs were dragging so bad that it scraped her nails and her nails were bleeding.
A specialist recommended CBD oil. Tammy thought it was a good alternative to Annie getting surgery.
Why wouldn't you try to see if it's a possibility, if it would work? If it doesn't work, you don't use it.
Tammy thinks it's helping. She's been monitoring Annie's progress and claims without the oil, Annie's health declines. Like cannabis, CBD oil is available on a state-by-state basis. For Tammy, who lives in Florida, the only proof she needs is Annie's health.
I just feel it in my heart and I see it, how she moves, that it's really working.
but here it is. Yeah. Yeah. You good now, ain't you? You okay? You okay? Huh? There's a good boy home. It is. You wanna get a bone? Oh, that was nice. Slather from the CBD. Good.
Lovely.